Hello, everyone. Welcome to IDAA podcast for AI in healthcare. And today we have a very special guest. I'm very excited to introduce Dr. Neil, who is a director at Northwell Health and also a surgeon with 15 plus years of experience. He has won multiple awards for his use of Intel's Creativity Award for Best Use of Technology. And there's also Best Design for Smart Shape. And he has also been a co-founder at an early stage startup. Actually, I would love for him to introduce himself. I may not be doing complete justice with all his introduction here. Yeah,
Uh,
Dr. Neil, please.
Thank you, Deepti, for having me over. Hi, friends. So my name's Neil Mukherjee. Did my med school back home in India. Grew up in a small mining town. And since then, I've been going on my surgical career in New York mostly, which I finished my training in Tampa in advanced GI minimal invasive surgery. That means anything in the abdomen which is complex, both cancer and non-cancer. So today, as Deepti says, it's been at least 15, 20 years since I finished my med school. And most of my referrals come from other surgeons, other interventionalists, once it's beyond the comfort of a average surgeon, gastroenterologist, medicine doctors. So I really have to think out of the box for my day-to-day practice. And luckily, my early upbringing in problem solving has helped me a lot. Even before I joined practice, I've been participating in a lot of problem solving, and which led me to win two hackathons. One at MIT MedHack, which is one of the biggest health hackathon in the whole world, if not the country at least.
Wow.
And then there was this Cleveland Clinic hackathon, which had best of both worlds, the Cleveland Clinic and the HIMSS coming together. And we won the first prize in both these things. And back then, we went on stage to open for then Vice President Biden, who was at that time going for the Moonshot project about curing cancer for all.
Wow.
So my journey has been to be the best clinician the patient can get. But then there are so many roadblocks that come in our way. And my approach to life is not to whine and complain about it, but to solve it. Sometimes I have to do it between my day job, but sometimes I have to think out of the box and team up with people out of my network to see how I can best solve the problem and bring these solutions to the people.
Wow.
Introduction, Deepti.
That's amazing, Dr. Neil. It's just being a doctor itself is a lot of work. I cannot imagine how you do so many things. And have been amazing with technology because not every day you find a doctor who has been so great with tech as well, actually. And let me come to this AI thing, AI in healthcare now. So what do you think, how did AI get into this healthcare and what made you get interested in this new emerging technology as well?
I'll always say I've been tech forward, and AI is obviously new, unusual for us. But if you look at technology that has been happening in my short lifespan of 40, 50 years, this is just the next leap of faith. In the medical surgical literature, the fear mongering that I see in the AI is exactly the same what I see when the calculators came out in this before my time. Like, how are students going to be able to do mental maths with calculators? How are students going to be able to give exams today? Are we dumbing them down? Yes, AI is going to dumb down and make educating students, AI is going to make it a little easier for students to pass exams, but they are going to give them more capabilities to think and solve the next generation of problems. So for me, I was trained in an open era, but then I learned laparoscopic surgery, and that's an advancement in surgery which hasn't happened for at least 2000 years. I mean, otherwise our instruments were exactly the same that was developed by ancient surgeons, Egyptians, Indian surgeons like Shushruta at least 2000 years ago.
Yeah.
But with laparoscopy, which is basically has computer, like there are chipsets that detects the RGB colors, reprocess those images. We use X-rays, but they now have we call it CT scan, so computerized tomography. The same X-ray technology from 100 years ago, we use that thing.
Yeah.
So to me, seeing the patient, using computer guided imaging to make a 3D reconstruction of those imaging in my head, then using the laparoscopic tool sets to re-identify those lesions and to act on those during surgery is great. Because now, even after a big cancer surgery, patient wakes up with 4 band-aids on their belly and walks home.
Yeah.
So when the robotic surgery came on, I think great. Now the same skill set that used to take 20 years to develop can be developed in 5 years. So we had so many robotic symposium. A class 10 student can get the same surgical finesse as a surgeon who has been in 20 years of practice within 10 to 15 minutes of simulation practice.
Oh my God. Wow.
So the physical technique is no longer the limiting factor, but the troubleshooting, knowing the anatomy, knowing when to operate, and more sincerely, when not to operate is where the training lies today. So from usual 2D imaging to 3D, laparoscopic, and now robotics, going into this AI's realm, I think is the natural progression. The amount of data that is generated today to advance healthcare is humongous. And I do not think it is possible for any human, no matter how niche the human goes into, to be able to assimilate all the data, process it, and then apply.
Correct. Correct.
So I do
Yeah.
think we need help. And
Mm.
with better computing, I think the combination of these newer computing processors, GPUs, and even in the futures, quantum computing and this AI algorithm is going to take us to the next level.
Yes. Yes. It looks like it is having a big impact. I also saw a paper recently where it is saying in last 2 years itself, AI in healthcare has grown considerably. So I know there is so much talks about AI. There's a hype, some people say, and some people say there is efficiency already. Where do you see currently AI adoption? Is it just on the hype cycle or is it already there?
I mean, the AI is affecting healthcare. So today, let's not tell people that AI is not affecting healthcare. Today, patients' care are being affected by healthcare. If not to make decisions by a doctor, because that relationship is still considered very religious, sacred, if you're not. But today, AI is deciding your insurance. AI hospitals are using AI technologies to improve efficiency. The companies are using AI algorithms for supply demand chains. So patients' healths are being affected. So AI is already here. The final frontier probably is going to be AI in clinical decision making because people or the public thinks that this is much more of a sacred relationship.
Yeah.
That field, I think, is still in the hype phase because what the AI algorithms have been taught, they have been taught on non clinical data. They have been taught on
Mhm.
administrative data, insurance data, and as the old adage goes, garbage in, garbage out. So a
Correct.
lot of statistics that have been done from this administrative data does not pan out in real world decision making. It probably pans out in macroeconomics, but does not pan out in decision making for that patient in the emergency room or in the operating room or in my clinical office.
Correct.
So I do think once these natural language processing is done, once we train these algorithms by a clinicians for the clinicians, for the patients, I think it will get better. But I have not seen any interest in that recently.
Yeah,
Most of the papers, most of the abstracts that get the highest applauds are basically using administrative data because that's the data we are collecting. And then
correct.
using that to optimize efficiencies and administrative outlook rather than actually clinical outlook.
You're right. So there is a lot of scope in clinical outlook for
I
AI
think
in
there's a
clinical.
lot of scope.
Okay. That's really good. What do you think with regard to barriers and adopting this work, clinical versus administrative side? The administrative side, people I see are much more easier to adopt, right? But when it comes to clinical side, how are other doctors finding it using AI overall? Or yeah,
For clinical decision making, for the day-to-day activities, very few people are using AI
okay.
because everybody has been trained in not just the basic medicine, but they do residency in one thing, fellowship. There are people who do more than one fellowship. So they are experts in their field.
Mm.
And the datas are not being generated so frequently that they need to change their own mental models, mental algorithms. So AI is not helping them. But when there is a red herring, when there is something that is unusual, something that is not what I do, we always used to query some known data sets, some known websites. Those things had gone into an app. Now,
Mm.
now we used to do Google searches or Bing
Correct.
searches, right?
I know.
Now, instead of using the page rank algorithm, now we are
Mm.
using the AI algorithm, but it's
Yeah.
still on the backs of the licentious of the physicians to figure out if that is true or not. Yes, there are newer AI websites, applications that are only looking at trusted websites, trusted repositories of peer-reviewed data sets, and not just
Yeah.
Reddit or other websites. So they might be a little bit more accurate. But me as a surgeon, I'm not going to start me as a general surgeon, GI surgeon, I'm not going to start treating brain cancer just because ChatGPT or Claude gives me an answer for it.
Right. Yeah. 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 That brings me to this question where, on a personal use, I know all of us are using ChatGPT,
Mhm.
Claude for something or the other. So, do you also use Claude and ChatGPT?
Yes.
Or
So means I used ChatGPT when it was still in version 3 point something, when it initially came out, and we were querying just to see how good it is. And we were asking it medical questions, and it was getting it right. Was it
okay.
intelligent at that time? Is it intelligent today? I do not know. But, and it has improved in the last 2 years more than a resident or a medical student would have improved in the last 2 years. So
Uh-huh.
its trajectory is way, way higher than any living human has.
Yeah.
So, so today, how do I use AI? Okay. The publicly available chat GPTs and all those things means I use it for my personal use, but through our employer, which is Northwell Health, we have an AI hub, and we can use various versions of ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini for
Yeah.
easy work or much more deep dive to a limit. And we can actually put in patient data, so they are now HIPAA compliant.
Okay.
Despite of that, are we putting patient information in it to give me an answer? No. Okay, I do not think that is legal or ethical right now.
Correct.
I can use those tool sets to make it efficient. If I wanted to, if I had to write a two-page letter to the insurance company to justify why this medication or why this treatment is written, I don't have to write from scratch. I can just put the patient's notes in that and say, write me a letter of medical necessity, and it will give me a two-page essay on it. and it will give you the CPT codes, the justification for the CPT codes. They probably, ChatGPT already probably knows the algorithms for the insurance company on how to get it approved, what to write, what
Correct.
not to write. So that makes it, gives me a very good first draft. So the things that I used to just procrastinate on is my easiest task today. Yeah, I don't have to check medical record numbers, date of birth. It will automatically format it, do it. I just have to
Yeah.
sign it. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. No, efficiency wise, definitely on a personal efficiency, it does make a
Mhm.
difference. But there are cases where AI is definitely making some decisions as well in terms of you can look at a scan report and probably diagnose a tumor somewhere.
So
What do you think?
yes, our radiology departments have bought some specific algorithms in which they can detect certain things on lungs, brain, and all those things, which flags it, and then a human verifies it and then signs off on it. So it's definitely adding much more sensitivity to the clinicians and make and improving their accuracy of their reads and actually the turnaround time too. Means if the first draft is made, again they're not using it to make the first draft but get the flags to make sure that they don't miss anything. um, so that has happened. Our gastroenterologists, while they do the colonoscopies, that computer vision on colonoscopies is picking up polyps all the time. They're
Mhm.
overreading it, so the specificity might be low, but the sensitivity is high. And then the surgeon and the gastroenterologist or the surgeons looks at it, should we biopsy it? Should we remove it? If not, they'll just move forward. But it is forcing you to look at it.
Okay. Yeah. In the past, probably it's possible some things you could have missed. And now at least it brings to light all that thing. Like, yeah.
Absolutely. And physician, like if they are going to do 10 colonoscopies in a day, they do more than that. The first colonoscopy and the last colonoscopy definitely has a different sensitivity, specificity, accuracy. Okay. Before lunch, after lunch, before coffee, after coffee. We are humans.
Right.
But that AI algorithm is only getting better. The 10th one is better than the first one. So I do think it would be unwise not to use this technology today.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. No, especially if it is making things easy for doctors and it's saving time. Yeah. What is that one application you think in AI which has made the biggest impact right now?
So we talked about computer vision, we talked about large language model with generative AI, but
Mhm.
the thing that has crept into most is in increase the efficiency of an average physician is the ambient scribing. So we started a project through one of my surgical association about writing a white paper on different ambient scribes, and I was talking to various founders in and out of the country. Okay,
Mm.
and how they were so energized to make it happen, come to the be the first in the market, that now that it's overcrowded and the biggest player is probably just adding it as a feature in their service rather than, so it's killing all its competitors. So the
Mhm.
ambient scribes is doing a wonderful thing. It
Okay.
is just recording the conversation between the physician and the patient and then writing a nice note. Again, it is in the very early phase. It is not changing it in a way that I would want it to be. So the templates are
Mm.
already made and all those things. But as we get further down this journey, I think it will make it into the way I want it rather than into the template they have created. In so much so, if there is a patient and his spouse and me, it can pick it up. It says,
Wow.
patient is saying this thing. There's another person in the room, he or she in brackets is saying these things. This is what I am saying. Okay.
Right.
I live in New York, which and up to 30-40% of my patients are not native English speakers. So we usually have a translator. And right now we are using licensed certified translators. Okay. So the AI scribe is picking up spoken in English, spoken in Spanish, spoken by me in English,
Wow.
and and then you can click buttons and it will summarize into a two-page, two paragraphs summary. But some of the key things that I want might not be in the summary. Some of the key things that the AI think is important is in the summary. So we again have to cross check it, and sometimes over reliant on it, on these technology, we might lose the material that we want, and we might be fed the material that we don't need. And that is where the error creeps in.
Yeah. No, you make a really good point, actually. It does save a lot of documentation, but is it doing what you really want or how you want it? And it needs to be trained more, right?
Yeah.
To actually pick up.
So if today AI scribe was a junior resident of mine, I would have
Mm.
fired him or her. Because when say I'm at home, I'm and somebody from the hospital calls me. Mukherjee, there's a patient in the hospital who's requesting you. This is his blood pressure. This is his heart rate. This is his blood test. This is his CAT scan. Just talking in one order or one tone gives me an idea that the patient is okay. We will not do anything. And talking
Right.
different tone, talking in an anxious voice, talking in different things, and said, "Oh my God, this patient's dying. I need to go and rush into the hospital right now." Okay, AI does not know that yet. Okay,
Correct.
so at the end, I do not know what to do with an AI generated scribe. It's it. We know that this is garbage in, garbage out. We are using it for efficiency purposes, but it is actually giving us the human essence of, I do not, I don't think we are there yet. So the trust factor, the humanity aspect of it is not there in the AI scribe yet.
Wow. Yeah, I think it will take a while.
It will take time.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think it has to be intentional. Right now, everybody is doing it more from first to market strategies and all those kind of things. But I think there's going to be 10, 15 different species of AI scribes. One,
Mm.
one that will work just as a transcriptionist, one just will work more like a resident physician, a relationship,
Mm.
one that will work more like a doc to a primary doc relationship. So that has to be a little bit nuanced before we can completely say that you're just transcribing data. Because
Correct. Yeah.
and there are like means human words are mean different when pronounced differently.